are really alone, but the devil looks after his own. I need an excuse to relapse today, to fuck up today, say fuck it today, and cut up today with a scalpel blade, with pills and cocaine, or blow out my brains. I don't have any faith, I don't believe in fate, I don't love myself, I'm someone I hate.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Felix Day Project, the channel that's recommended by 9 out of 10 dentists. Probably not at all. Anyway, yeah, you'll notice that I'm flying solo for this video. I don't have my trusty co-pilot Chantal with me. Yeah, we're doing a bit of a deep dive, getting a little bit raw, a little bit naked, a little bit vulnerable. Obviously not really naked. I don't know how YouTube would feel about that. But point is, it's fucking swelteringly hot here where I am in Pretoria, South Africa. So yeah, getting naked, it's sort of appealing. But anyway, I think addiction has, pretty much always been a sort of a theme in my songwriting, whether it was very overt and in your face or it was more subtextual, more metaphorical. I think it's always this thing about being obsessed, being fixated, by being addicted, whether to to a person or to an experience, to a feeling. My psychiatrist once told me that I romanticize death. Yeah, I maybe do, and I maybe do fetishize my sadness a little bit. But in either event, for the bulk of my writing career, if you could call it that, say I started writing like at the age of 13 maybe or so. I mean, like seriously writing, putting down like actual thoughts in the format that I'm hoping most people would regard as a poem. But for the bulk of that, I wrote about a lot of things like, like sadness, like depression, isolation, self-harm, suicide, self-loathing, that sort of thing. But in revisiting my older writings and revisiting my entire catalog, as a matter of fact, I've come to see that over the past 3 or 4 years, addiction, substance addiction, has become quite an established theme in my writing. It's something that I write a lot about, which isn't bad. I mean, obviously, yeah, the addiction's not great, but I think writing about it is probably good. It's probably therapeutic and cathartic in a lot of ways, and helps me just make sense of something that is so chaotic, that is so fucking dark. Addiction is dark, and addiction is a bully, and it will really erode a lot of the fundamental things of what makes you. It will erode the more abstract things, like your self-esteem, like your confidence, like your motivation. It'll erode those things. But then also obviously more tangible aspects of your life, like relationships, and I think in a lot of cases obviously jobs, things like that. So I write a lot about addiction. I wrote a full a book of poetry on the theme of addiction not too long ago. I'll post the link in the description to this video, so that if you're having a good day and you really want that to change, maybe read the book. It's miserable stuff, but it helps me. I think my history with addiction, substance abuse, I don't think it's much of a secret to anyone. I found a lot of purpose and a lot of support and a lot of compassion through the fellowship of the NA. I think it's, I don't often use this word, but because it it has a lot of gravity. It's a weighty, meaty word, and that's transformative. To me, the NA has certainly been transformative. I'll obviously continue writing about drugs and addiction because I enjoy writing about it. I do, I can list so many of the songs that I wrote that are overtly and explicitly, outwardly about drug addiction. Songs like Manufactured, songs like Cycle of the Werewolf, even black metal ones like Beloved makes reference to drugs and to experiences I had with drugs. So, to me, it's just the healthiest way that I have to cope with it. It's a dark thing, being powerless, and that's why, in fellowships like the NA, I'm sure that I haven't been personally, but I'm sure it's sort of very much encouraged to interpret some sort of higher power. It don't have to be the Christian God or the God of the Bible or whatever, but it comes down to relinquishing control and admitting that you're powerless against the disease of addiction, because we are. I am. I'm certainly powerless against it. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than me. I don't live in this liminal space of control where I can say, well, I'll have a drink, or for a couple of months I'll do do a line or whatever. No, it's balls to the wall for me. It's in Afrikaans we have this saying, gaan groot of gaan huis toe, go big or go home. Actually, I think it's maybe Afrikaans stole it from the English, already established English saying, but the point holds true that I can't do things in half measures. My dad always used to say to me, everything in moderation. I can't do moderation. I have a disease. I do. But two beautiful things have come from the disease, and the first thing is that I am able to write very prolifically, very honestly about that disease and about my experiences with it. And then secondly, of course, yes, it brought me to the NA. So yeah, it's been a darling of mine, the theme of addiction and substance and recovery and hopelessness and hope, all of those things. It's been a darling of mine for a couple of years now. It makes us, it's such a rich area from which to mine poetry, and I guess, for many of us, the two go sort of hand in hand. Not for everybody. I'm not saying everyone who writes needs to be an addict. Certainly that doesn't have to be the case, but there is some sort of correlation, if not causation. I don't know. I'm not nearly smart enough. But as I say, for the time being, and even as I am now in recovery for a couple of months, I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful that I can go to bed sober and wake up sober. Guys, it's not fucking easy. I've been very, very raw and vulnerable and emotional the past couple of weeks, doing the ugly crying thing. You saw the last video, Chantal and I did, where we were talking about the most meaningful songs. I was a mess, I was fucking bawling. And I think it's because finally, months down the line, that sort of, I don't want to say protective layer, but that haze of alcohol and of substances, it's dissipating. And that means I have to face this very visceral, urgent, extreme version of reality. I have to, you know, all the shields are gone. All those artificial shields they're gone. So I have to stare reality straight in the fucking face. I have to look at myself, you know, in the mirror. And I'll be the first to admit that I don't look great. I've lost a lot of weight. You know, the black rings around my eyes. You know, I'm really rocking the the starved artist look. But you know, it's been good. This journey has been good. And it's a journey that I want to continue taking, you know. I can't say, oh, well, I've been clean now for a couple of months, for a year, or for whatever. I'm never recovered. I'm always in recovery. I'm never going to be a fully formed human being, I don't think, but I can be a reasonable simulation of one, you know. But yeah, look, for everyone who's been supporting me through it, I'm so eternally grateful. I'm grateful for this project. Very grateful for Chantal, for coming aboard and bringing her own unique voice and her own talents and her own experience and her own perspective to the project. If this was a solo project, if Felix Day was solo, I don't think it would have had as much meaning. But now I get to share an experience, and it's amazing. I'm going to use that word again. It's been transformative. So yeah, read my poems. You can buy the book on iBooks. I'll link down the description. Maybe you can feel some sort of connection with that. All that I definitely do want to say to everyone who is struggling with addiction or has loved ones struggling with addiction is that there is help. Believe me, there is help. But you know, you first sort of have to reframe the entire world and reframe your entire perception of people, because if you're like me, you probably went through a very long time in which you just thought people were the worst. In fact, I used to say that all the time. People are the worst. Charl may not. But they're not. People are good. For the most part. Are they bad actors? Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. But for the most part, I've been shown kindness. Shown kindness by people in my life, my family, my friends, work. You know, I've been shown kindness by strangers. And yeah, so this was a bit of a ramble. You know, I try to always tie the videos back to, you know, the project and the writing and the poetry, etc. But I think I would have been remiss if I didn't talk about this, you know, this omnipresent entity that is addiction and that informs so much of my later poetry. But guys, yeah, thank you for watching. Remember, there is help out there. There's always help. Reach out. Hell, I am by no means, please let this be known, I'm by no means a psychologist or psychiatrist or any sort of trained mental health professional, but you know, I'm always up for a chat if you want to reach out by DMs. You know, I'll try. So thank you. In absentia, thank you to Chantal. I know she would have rocked this video with me. And yeah, guys, keep it fucking degenerate within moderation.